Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We are in the book of Acts, chapter 23, verses 12 through 24. Now, just prior to this, Paul was brought before the Sanhedrin, the council of priests and Pharisees and elders, and there was a vibrant discussion about Paul and about the place of Scripture, but it gets so bad that the Romans once again take custody of Paul, take him back to the barracks, have him in custody there. So meanwhile, a group of 40 Jewish men have made a pact with each other that they are going to do whatever it takes to eliminate Paul, to get rid of him. And so they go to the Sanhedrin, this council of spiritual leaders, of religious leaders, and says, hey, we'd like you to be a part of our conspiracy. Why don't you ask the Romans to bring Paul back over, and then while they're moving him, we'll ambush them and we'll make sure that Paul is killed. And the spiritual council agrees to this. And so they asked that Paul would be brought back over so they could do some more inquiry. Meanwhile, a young man, son of Paul's sister, his nephew, basically, finds out. He finds out about it. They let Paul know. Paul tells them to tell the Roman commander. The commander takes this seriously and immediately assembles a cohort of soldiers to get Paul out of Jerusalem and moved over to Caesarea where he'd be safer. And so what's weird is that the Roman soldiers who represent this pagan government are Paul's saviors. What are we to make of this? And why are the spiritual leaders acting in such a wicked way? Luther, when he talks about the way the world works, he talks about the realm of God and the realm of the world. And God is in charge of everything. But God is working for his kingdom through the realm of God. And the primary force of that, well, is the law and the gospel, right? The spiritual law and the gospel. Within the realm of God and the realm of the world, and the world, remember, is imbued with sin. It's sunk into sin, and the prince of this world is Satan. And so God is in charge, but there is this spiritual battle going on. Between these two realms is the kingdom of the church and the kingdom of the state. And the kingdom of the church is to exercise spiritual authority, and the kingdom of the state is to exercise secular authority or the sword. Now, the church is supposed to be encouraging people, encouraging people in the gospel. But we know that the church isn't always perfect, right? And that's exactly what we see here, is that the people of God, the spiritual leaders of God, have gone astray and in fact are engaged. They are trying to use death to get rid of an opponent. And we know that the church is not perfect, that it is broken. Why? Because it exists within the realm of the world and sin hampers it. On the other hand, the kingdom of the state is not all wicked because it serves God's purposes within the world. It exercises a sword to restrain evil. And so here we see clearly where the kingdom of the church is going in the wrong direction and the kingdom of the state is serving God's purposes. Well, thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.